Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Lee. This is JLeesCorner, and this is a gossip chat. Who said that? Anybody? Somebody? Nobody? Behind the blogs. That's what it. It wasn't me. It was the blogs, allegedly. Okay. Anyway, if you have not done so already, please come over to subscribe to my channel and become a whole J. Got bright because my name popped up. JayBirds, JayBirds, dun 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 dun, and all that goodness and stuff. Make sure to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, you got to take it in and push it on out. And center yourself as you relax, relate, and release. Okay, and all of that. Do not forget to also like this video, to comment in the comment section, to share it on your social media, which is either Twitter or Facebook. And you can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at J_Lees_Corner. And of course, all of that information is down below. Now let's see what stories we have to chit chat about today. Okay? Okay. Y'all starting some foolishness all up in here. So rumors have been spreading all around that Beyonce may possibly have signed a 3-picture deal with Disney / Marvel and all that stuff to be in some movies. Him saying $100 million deal. And people are all up in arms. I mean, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? They were saying that Beyonce may be in Black Panther 2. They were saying that Beyonce may play Storm in the new X-Men, set of movies or whatever. And people like, no, we don't want Beyonce in our movies. No, she can act. She should have sing. First of all, I don't like anyone saying, hey, don't do nothing besides sing. Look, people had this thing where they don't like Beyonce acting. I feel like, how can y'all judge someone before y'all see them in that role? You know what I'm saying? No one's saying that Beyonce is going to be in Black Panther 2 as the Queen of the Nile or Queen or whatever. She could be one of the fighting people who don't have no words to say. She could be up to this quiet, okay, behind the general. We don't know what role it is that she supposedly was going to have a Black Panther. Now, I mean, I would not want her to play Storm. Mainly because Beyonce's Texan accent would not be right for Storm. So I do believe that. But I feel like, one, Beyonce's publicist and people say it like it's not true. You know what I'm saying? It's not true. Now, we don't know if that's actual or factual either. But I do feel like, why can't Beyonce be in a couple of movies? I mean, she's not a bad actress. She just hasn't been in many roles. I liked her in Austin Powers and Go. Remember, Solid Go. You know what I'm saying? I like that or whatever. Beyonce's role in Cadillac Records was amazing when she played Etta James. Okay, it was amazing. She played out that role that wasn't Beyonce. Y'all have to allow people to step outside their bubble. I didn't mind her in The Lion King as Nala. She didn't have many parts, and it was a lion. We didn't even see her. It was her voice. I feel like people who want to hate on Beyonce just don't like Beyonce. Okay, y'all have to stop looking at her as Beyonce with her accent, MCing, and whatever, and give her the chance to do something different. And all these Marvel fans, oh my God, don't ruin the movie. Shut up forever, okay? Again, she should not play Storm. She should not play Storm. But I don't mind if they find roles for her in Black Panther, if they find roles for her in X-Men, but I don't think she should play one of the main characters. I think if she wants to be a teacher at the school, that's kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? I think if she wants to be an auntie, she could be Angela Bassett's, best friend or whatever. She could be Angela Bassett's, hairdresser. I don't know. But I think there are roles within these movies that she can play, and people need to stop running with the fact of, oh, they're going to put her in the movie. She's going to be the main character. Let her be, but don't ever tell someone to just be quiet, don't act, and just sing. Don't do that. Don't do that. So we will see what they got for Beyonce. Again, it's all alleged, okay? And again, her people said it's not true. But what could be not true is the details of like, oh, it's not true that she signed a 3-picture deal to be in Black Panther and X-Men and whatever else. It could be, oh, she signed a 3-picture deal to be in something else. I'm saying, so it's all in the wording. It's all in the wording. But we shall see. And we have these two people. Okay, Marlon Wayans and Terrence J. Now, we know earlier in the week, the whole little viral clip went of Marlon and Terrence J arguing. And I did a whole video on that. And in my video, I said, I don't know if they're joking. I don't know if they're serious. But these are my comments regardless. I still felt like if it was a joke or serious, it was the wrong time to be joking about such a prominent Black family in Black entertainment. Well, after all the hoopla and all the backlash that Terrence J got, because Marlon didn't get any backlash at all, but Terrence J was torn to shreds on social media. People really let him know how they feel. People went in on Terrence J. It's one thing for you to feel like, everyone may not support me, but I still have my fans. And then something happens and everyone is like, we hate you. You're the worst thing ever. You're the worst thing that happened to one of us park. You ruined our, they was going in. Like they just chopped him down bit by bit by bit. Okay, so they both bring up in one way or the other that, it wasn't a real argument per se. I'm going to kind of poke holes in what they said because I felt like they were both saying the same thing and different things at the same time. They do have these IG live things as well. What I don't agree with, or what I don't believe, is my personal belief, is that, oh, this was us doing our, honest truth thing. The reason I said I don't believe that, because as Terrence kept saying that part of it, and Marlon kept admitting, like, yeah, we argue back and forth, whatever, as friends, and, this and that. At one point in the IG Live, Marlon did say, like, look, it was a conversation that happened, and sometimes, friends argue, whatever, but it ain't that big deal. I felt like they really got into a friendly argument that had no ill intent. But as Terrence said, like when we had these, these IG things, whatever, we do be drinking a lot. Marlon gets me really, really drunk. And I feel like Terrence was drunk. He said some stuff and went too far. And then it was out. Okay, it was out. I feel like if that had never went viral, I don't think they would have came out and explained that, oh, it was just a joke. I don't think, oh, we were filming, the honest truth. Or we're filming him saying what haters say. Because the women Terrence said, like, we do a thing called what haters say. So, oh, yeah, this thing called the honest truth to, oh, we would, no. There were two friends on IG Live drinking, going back and forth as friends do. And things just escalated. It wasn't any ill intent with it. Terrence J was clearly drunk, but I just don't believe, oh, it was a planned thing. It was a parody. It was a joke. Terrence J came first with it was a parody. It was a joke. He did all that trying to save it. And when people wasn't buying it, okay, Marlon, I know you had oral surgery, but I need you to come over. We need to get on IG Live and show that we cool. But again, the one part where Marlon said,
here's the thing. We was just, honestly, it's not even like show. We was just having a conversation on IG, and that just happens sometimes between friends. We talk shit to each other all the fucking time. Sometimes y'all gonna see it, and sometimes y'all not.
So, as he just said, it wasn't even the show. It wasn't about the show. Two friends on IG Live ripping each other. That's what happened. That's what I believe happened, okay? And again, Terrence just said something that didn't sit well with anybody. And, I think things just escalates here, but I don't think it was any planned skit, that Marlon, and that's what Terrence J was saying at first. It was a skit. We was in on, and Marlon, and all these things. No, y'all was going back and forth, and you were just saying shit, going a little bit crazy. And again, Marlon's reaction was still Marlon's reaction. Okay, but again, it was just that there was no ill intent behind it. So I mean, people gonna still feel how they feel about Terrence. Like, that's just what it's gonna be. But I wish he would have not said anything until him and Marlon was on the same page. Because again, the things that Terrence first said, as they then went IG Live together, in my opinion, it wasn't that. I think Marlon was really trying to help save face for Terrence, which is great because it's his friend. I'm saying, well, whatever. And I get that Terrence does not have any ill will toward the family. That's cool, that's fine. But you still said what you said, and we was pissed off because that's the Wayans family, okay? But at least, we kind of knew it wasn't like any real beef. But at the same time, it also was not for a show, okay? And we have B. Simone. Okay, B. Simone has been in the news recently for a couple of different reasons. She had made a dumb remark about, Black Lives Matter. When they asked her, like, what was she doing and this and that for the Black Lives Matters movement. And she then said, well, I'm, trying to be a woman of God, okay? I have to be a woman of God. I can't be out here being angry. I'm paraphrasing, whatever, but that's what she said. Then she got the wrath, okay, of us black folks. And she went out and she was like, Black Lives Matter and stuff, did it for the cameras. We had that whole debacle. Then it came out when she did an interview with Nick Cannon where, she said, I don't want to date a man who works a 9 to 5. Okay, I have to have me an entrepreneur. And that was cool. That was cool, except it was as if she was saying to people who work a 9 to 5 are dumb and can't understand and can't comprehend a hustler. I'm like, girl, I work a 9 to 5 too. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler too. And you can't make it seem as if just because a person has a 9 to 5, they can understand your hustle. Get you a person who hustles and works and does all kind of things. I think, you can't down talk one or the other. Now, she came back and said, I wasn't saying, there's something wrong with someone who worked at 9 to 5. It's just not what I want. That's cool, but people who are entrepreneurs sometimes be broke too and they make mistakes too. And a person working 9 to 5 can just be understanding. So I'm like, whatever. So that was a whole backlash thing too, honey. And then it came out just recently, like within the past day or so, that her book that she came out with called, Manifest What You Want or whatever it's called, that she supposedly plagiarized some of it. Now on Twitter, everybody's going crazy because like a few different blogging sites, a few different other social media influencers and people who do inspirational things or whatever, and who also do these manifestation books or whatever, came out and said that some of her pages were their exact same work. So we have this one happiness planner who brings up how 3 pages that they saw out of her book were exact copies of their principles. Okay, that was one person that their stuff was taken. We also have this one saying how they looked through some things and also found some identical things from the happiness planner. Okay, so we've seen that as well. Okay, and then this one also brings up how I wish she would stop stealing, content creators' information or whatever. And again, it's these questionnaires in here that they were saying that she kind of stole their design, their idea, exactly what they did. So B. Simone is definitely under the, saying, girl, what are you doing, baby girl? Okay, is it your own stuff? We don't know. Now, her manager, who goes by Miss Skittles, Miss Skittles said that B. Simone hired a design company to do her book. And so they are intertwined in some kind of lawsuit with them. And I feel like, but at what point did B. Simone not check her own work? Like, did you just say, hey, I have an idea and can you make it? Like, I want to write a book, a pamphlet, that you just have some pages and staple them together and then you make it. Because she was on her IG Live or whatever live she was on and she was holding up the book and the book kind of fell apart in pieces or whatever. So again, it's stapled, it's copy and pasted together. But I feel like how much of it did she design? Like, how much of it was her idea? It's not like a novel. It isn't. Imagine when you were in high school and you had like the memory book. And say, okay, your best memory from science class. Okay, best friend page. Okay, what you want to be when you grow up? Where do you want to be? 10 years from now. It's that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying, and I've seen other books like that are like inspirational, trying to help people figure things out. But usually, if it's your book, it is still supposed to be your design into how you do things. And I think anyone's, okay, what 50 things? These are 50 questions that you need to ask yourself. Can that be plagiarized? I mean, yeah. If it's the exact same 50 questions from someone else's book, yeah. It's not as if she took the idea, okay, this book had 50 questions, I'm going to have 50 questions. It was like, this book had 50 questions, I'm going to have the exact same 50 questions. Putting your face on something that a team of people somewhere else can read it that you never even fully work on yourself. Like, you can't make it seem like that you out here putting the work in at 3 a.m., honey, if you not. I think B Simone has some growing to do. And she wants to be a boss, but she's not. And so she wants to be the face of a boss. She wants to look like she's a boss. Maybe she tried to manifest herself to be the boss. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point in time, honey, these little issues should not be happening. I mean, you should make sure that any item that you put out, any book that you put out, should be your own work. And you can't blame a design company as to why the book that you put out as your book was not really your book, that you did not get final say over what was in the book. And if that's the case, how much money of the book that you make if you did not even really write the book? Girl, we shall see. So even though we know that Trina was all in the blogs, had people all upset, okay, when she was on her radio show down there in Miami or whatever, and was talking about the looters and the protesters or whatever, calling them animals, and she didn't care about all these things, and she couldn't believe people's out here looting and all these things. She was basically upset about the looting and the rioting. But the way she went about it did not sit well with the people. Now, she did apologize 2 separate times, okay? She would apologize on air. She apologized in like a little written statement. Most people didn't care, okay? Most people still felt like she said what she said and was only apologizing because of the backlash that she received. Well, some people like, you know what? We want her fired. And so they have made a petition. Girl, on change.org, they have made a petition as of his signatures to get Trina removed from her show, the TNT morning show on 99 Jam down there in Miami. Now, as we see, there's about 13,000 signatures on here. They were trying to get 15,000. Girl, who made this? Did Kaya make this up? I think it could have been Kaya. Now, this person went on and on just about how they were upset. You know what I'm saying? It is with great disgust that I and many other Black Miami natives have to hear such derogatory and disrespectful speech from someone who has only seen success because of our support. To make matters worse, Trina made such erroneous statements on a radio station that has a majority of Black audiences after we've endured her obnoxious attitude and middle school reading level for months. Not only did she, Lord Jesus, not only did she let such ignorant and grotesque statements leave her mouth, she stood firm on them as her co-host tried to remind her to watch her words. Clearly, she meant what she said, so an apology will not do. Trina needs to be removed from the radio show immediately, okay? It is the only way the 99 Jams can make it up to the listeners. Please sign this petition in support of having Trina removed from the TNT morning show. Today is the day that Trina will regret being an uneducated buffoon with the audacity to mock and embarrass the very community that has filled her pockets she sits on. They pointed out, that she was valuing her friends over the importance of the protests, how she was comparing police brutality and racially enticing murders to someone being killed in a car accident or being killed by their own race. So, they quoted and they said what she had said. Do I feel like what she said means that she should be fired? I don't think she should be fired. I think it should be a continuing conversation. If it was someone I listened to on a regular basis and they apologize, I could take their apology at face value and see how they go moving forward. I think some people just don't like Trina. And that's why they're saying that she should get fired. I don't think that what she said was on the level of someone needing to be fired. Like, I think making her make the apology was one thing, and I think that she should be able, she should have to continue the conversation. But I don't think it was something that was fireable. I don't think that. But I mean, we shall see. Honey, everybody's getting exposed, and fired. Okay, so first up we have Hartley Sawyer. So y'all who don't watch CW shows, I watch CW shows, and so Hartley was on The Flash. He's been on the show for a couple of seasons now. He plays elongated man, main character and all. And they released a statement saying he will not be back for season 7. Now, why we not be back for season 7? So Sky Jackson has been exposed to people all over the nets. Exposed, and showing their old inappropriate tweets. And these were some tweets that he tweeted when he was like 29 years old. Okay, too old to be tweeting this stuff. Now, as y'all see, you know what I'm saying? Out to dinner and just expose myself again as racist, okay? I think I could work in a tit factory and be pretty happy about it, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy the secret boo viewing at an audition today. And what I thought was extremely unsettling. As a lad, one of my favorite activities was taking women who were homeless against their will and cutting off their boobs. I'm like, what? What? Then he put the only thing stopping me from being mildly racist, posting mildly racist tweets, is to know that Al Sharpton would never stop complaining about me. I mean, we see these are from 2014. I think one of them was from 2012, but just none of it is appropriate. And again, are you a murderer? Like, are I fear you now, bro. It's like, what are you doing round here? He 100% absolutely should have been fired. What he posted was not joking. What he posted was not, oh, I was young and dumb. No, what he posted was how he felt as a grown adult man. Okay, because again, he is 35 now, meaning in 2014, he was 29. 29 years old and posting that stuff is crazy. Like, crazy. I've always said I can understand anyone who was a teenager, like you 16, 15, even 17, 18, and you're posting dumb stuff. You're posting dumb stuff that you think is funny, but it's not. And it's not stuff you do. You just been stupid and young and dumb. I can understand young and dumb who has since then grown up and has consistently changed and has spoken. Like, my thing is, you have to know you posted that stuff. Like, that'd be my kicking part. You posted that stuff and that is there. So to never address it before you're exposed, for me, the apology after being exposed is what I don't like. If you knew you was saying things and doing things that you didn't like, sometime in between when you said it and before you're exposed, you should speak about it. Man, I was young and dumb, posting all kind of crazy stuff on Twitter like 8 years ago. Can't believe what I said, man. It was dumb, diggly dumb. Like, do that. And then if you are exposed later, you've at least addressed your dumbness. Meaning you've addressed it, you knew it was there and you've changed. But to be dumb and just kind of like, oh, where'd that come from? Oh, can't believe that. Oh, now let me say sorry. I don't like that kind of stuff. So I'm like, for him, nah, bruh. Nah, you were who you were at 29, and I feel like you that same person probably at 35. And now we have Taylor. Taylor who was the Caucasian woman in this photo, along with her boyfriend Corey, who was the only man in this photo. And we see Cheyenne and also Ryder. So Taylor, who was the Caucasian lady in this picture, was let go and fired from MTV recently. Her and Corey had a baby special that was going to air the other day, because they, just had a new baby, and she had a baby during the times of quarantine. And so it was, home shot video of what it was like to be pregnant and have a baby during this time or whatever. The day it was supposed to air, MTV pulled it and then released statements, and they had severed ties working with Taylor because of old tweets that she had put out before. Okay. Now, again, this is the time I feel like MTV was wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. Taylor is now with Corey. Taylor now has a baby. She's an additional parent figure to Corey's daughter, Ryder, who we see there with her mom, Cheyenne. MTV was aware of these tweets years ago. We know that because it has been addressed on different seasons, on different shows, and everything. It was a storyline partially for Corey and Cheyenne, because Corey and Cheyenne, the two people who are not Taylor, were having conversation about it, because Cheyenne felt some kind of way with him being with Taylor, considering what she said, and considering her and Taylor had issues at one point because of what Taylor said. And Cheyenne felt like, you're dating her, she's going to be around my daughter. I don't know if I'm okay with that. And so we've seen Taylor address what she said. She apologized for what she said. And it seems like she's changed from who she was when she was maybe 18, 19 years old until now. This is the one instance I feel like she's shown us growth. She has addressed what she said. And to me, Taylor seemed pretty cool or whatever. And again, they all are getting along now. And not only that, MTV again was aware of these tweets and still had her on the show talking about these tweets. Now, I don't know what the tweet said. I don't know that at all. But what I do know is they talked about it, addressed it, or whatever, and has seemed to have moved on, over the years. So to have her on the show and then out the blue want to let her go now, to me, is you jumping on the bandwagon. It had nothing to do with how y'all felt about what she said. Y'all doing it because y'all knew what she said and still had her on multiple shows, but y'all knew about it. So my thing is, why fire her now? And Corey, who was still actively on MTV, we know Corey is right now on the challenge show. He's also on Teen Mom. He has not severed ties with MTV, but he was definitely upset about how they handle things, because again, like, she's being portrayed as who she, what she put out years ago, and that isn't who she is anymore. She's grown up, and so to see her be hurt by people putting her back in that box, it hurt him to see her like that. And I can understand that, because again, I say again, people make mistakes, and if you don't acknowledge your mistakes, grow from it, then what's the point of any of us trying to change anything? If we don't think people can grow up and change, why are we trying to change people's minds about how they think? We have to acknowledge people can change. You can't just say, well, she's not different. How do you know that? You know what I'm saying? So Corey was, of course, he was visibly upset in his IG post about it. But he made it clear that he has not severed ties with MTV, because that's a job for him. Some people would have left altogether, but we can't count that man pockets. I don't know what he does outside of doing this stuff, so I don't know. I do feel like him making it plain that he does not like how they handle things, but he still has a job to do, is what it is. So we have Faith, who was the one black girl on the screen. We have next to her is Brittany, and then down below we have Stassi and Kristen. So Stassi and Kristen, bottom two people, were both fired from the TV show Vanderpump Rules that comes on Bravo, mainly because them two people was out here messing with black girl Faith. Okay, black girl Faith, and I'm saying that because I don't know, but she was the only black cast member to ever be on Vanderpump Rules, and she was only on there for like a season or two, wasn't even that much or whatever. But while she was on the show, she slept with Jax, who was seemingly slept with all four of these women, who are all from the same show. Okay, he was started on the show dating Stassi. Okay, Stassi is this one right here. That's Stassi. And then next to Stassi with the dark hair is Kristen. He also slept with Kristen. And then Brittany up top, right up top, is Jack's current wife. But they all are on the same show. So Jax, while he was dating Brittany, slept with Black Girl Faith. And when that happened, bottom two girls right here, Stassi and Kristen, got upset, and this basically was being mean and rude to Faith. So at one point, they called the police on her, trying to insinuate that she was some black girl who was in the area, like, robbing people. They also attempted to call the military police to report her AWOL, and she was not AWOL, she was honorably discharged. And all these things they did to her that was crazy. And they did all that because her and Jax, had sex, and which means Jax cheated on Brittany. So I feel like, why were y'all trying to be so mean to, to Faith, as if Jax does not always do this? Like, it's just so dumb ditty. Brittany said that she did not do anything. Like, she was, yes, she was mad at Faith, but she did not do anything like racially mean to her. But Faith says in her anger, Brittany did call her a nappy head, which we know is a term that, people can be seen as racist, especially when it comes from someone of a different race. Brittany said, I did not call her a nappy head. That's not what I said. And Faith says what she did. She was pissed off, and she was yelling, cussing, and fussing. And that is something that she said. All Brittany says is, I was yelling at her as I should have because I was upset, but I did not say that. I feel like she did say it. And I feel like she said it, and she's trying to say, like, I was upset talking or whatever, and I didn't say that one thing, but I said other stuff. You said it, and you just don't want to admit it. Bravo definitely has shows that seem segregated. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the Housewives of Atlanta, we have Married to Medicine, we have, the Housewives, the Housewives of Potomac. We have certain shows that has a predominantly black cast. We also have other shows that has always had a predominantly white cast. Vanderpump Rules, having this one black cast member, it was whatever. Even when we had, now on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Garcelle is the only black cast member to ever be on the show. Even from Housewives of Atlanta, Kim Zolciak at one point was the only white woman on that show. And even on the House Married to Medicine season 1, there used to be one white woman on that show. So Bravo has always made it a point to kind of sort of have these casts and these shows where there's a white cast and there's a black cast. There are not many shows that has both. I am surprised that it took this long for anyone to admit how unfairly targeted people who happen to be Caucasian can treat someone who happens to be black when stuff happens. And even though Faith said, like, I'm not saying they're racist, not saying that, but this is what happened. And it wasn't right. And I'm like, I agree. You cannot be out here calling the police on someone. And it was a thing to where they were admitting to doing these things, like on their podcast and on Twitter. Like, yeah, we called the police on her, and try to make it seem as if she was AWOL. You know how much trouble someone can get? That's trouble. That's trouble. And then to say, like, well, yeah, we called the police on her because, she could have been, like, out here robbing people. But they were doing it in retaliation because they were upset that her and Jax had slept together. You know what I'm saying? Behind Brittany's back. But Jax has slept with everyone behind someone's back. Okay? And then she still stayed with him. And then she still married him. So I'm like, what the fuck? So, I mean, I'm happy that these two were fired because they deserve it. The time of people being able to be unfair to black people is over. Like, a lot of companies are not tolerating it, even though it's a bandwagon motion of not tolerating it. They're not doing it because it's wrong and we had no idea. They're doing it because now that people see that it's happening and people will actively stop watching your shows and supporting you, now they want to do it. My thing is, either way, it's getting done. So I had intended to record more It is 4:12 in the morning. This all y'all gonna get, okay? I will do another gossip chat later on. I'm going to bed. So y'all know to like, to comment, to share this video, to follow me on IG and on Twitter and all that stuff. Good night. Happy Sunday, people. Happy Sunday. Oh, peace.